Close your eyes if that's comfortable and safe for you. Maybe we'll take a few breaths in through the nose and just out through the mouth. Can you get me the mic this way? And let yourself settle. So do that a couple of times. Inhaling like, oh, I made it to class. Exhale, here I am. A few more times. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And then feel the lips come together, retaining a little space between your teeth to keep the jaw unhinged and creating a sense of ease up in the skull, the face, the jaw. And then just thank you, allowing that easiness to just slide right on down through your chest, into your shoulders. Maybe even flow out through your arms, almost some of those early Shavasana cues where we just start to illuminate the body almost from within, like there's a dimmer switch inside, and you just start to turn the light on inwardly. That is the teaching of yoga, is that we each have a spark of divinity within, an inner light that we can cultivate and we can enhance. And especially through a practice like this of mindfulness, breath, and movement, curiosity, gentleness, sometimes that inner light does start to glow a little brighter. And then relax into a nice, easy rhythm of breath. So the breath now will come in and out through the nose. We retain that ease through the neck, shoulders, face, arms, and we also might start to feel our core kind of aligning itself, so we sit up tall without ever straining. We just watch as the body becomes present and becomes a little more settled and relaxed. We can breathe more deeply down into the lower abdomen. We can feel the respiration, as it comes and goes, but also that quality of expansion and contraction. And we can start to even that out, just to align ourselves with a little of the energy of nature. We're just 1 week away from the spring equinox, equinox meaning equal day and night, equal light and dark. So we start to equalize our breath, equal attention to the inhale, equal attention to the exhale. And we can allow our hips to feel a little heavier, more supported down on our base. And that relaxation even traveling all the way out in the direction of our toes. Good. And then just continuing to arrive. I like this quote by Kurt Vonnegut. It says, "Be soft. Don't let the world make you hard. Don't let pain make you hate, and do not let bitterness steal your sweetness. Take pride that even though the rest of the world may disagree, you still believe it to be a beautiful place." Be soft. Do not let the world make you hard. Don't let pain make you hate. And do not let bitterness steal your sweetness. Take pride that even though the rest of the world may disagree, you still believe it to be a beautiful place. Let's take left hand to the heart and just kind of ponder that word beauty for a moment. Right? Through our eyes, we can behold beauty, but when we close our eyes, we can turn that gaze toward beauty inward, and there is an inner beauty to be found in each of us. And I think that's one of the gifts of yoga, is you can start to experience something beautiful on the inside. It has nothing to do with the exterior. So just breathe into the heart space, breathe into the possibility of what this practice could do for you this morning. And then layer on your right hand, and let's just hold the possibility that this practice could bring something beautiful out into the world through us, into our homes, into our communities, and in just the way that we look at the world and what we emanate as we walk through it. Good. And I welcome you to slide your hands just right out in front of you. Pause with this gesture of making your practice an offering to your well-being, the well-being of all. Slowly rotate your wrists so that your palms face toward the ground. Take your hands out by your sides. And for this moment, you're kind of connecting to the earth force through your palms. Connecting to the atmosphere through your breath. Turn your palms up. Glide your fingers through the air. Reach up overhead. And then wash down with your palms traveling right in front of your face, close to the body, washing all the way down. Take your hands out and then just do it again. Breathe in, reach up, breathe out, and wash down. So a few more cleansing breaths like that. In through the nose, typically how we do it, but you might breathe out through your mouth if that's a cleansing gesture for you. Take it one more time, going at your own pace, not rushing anything the whole time you're here. Nice. And then let's gather up from the earth, kind of scooping up, raising your hands up overhead, and like a fountain kind of showering down and out. Good. Match that with the breath a few times. Inhale, drawing up. We're drawing the energy of the earth all the way up through us. And exhale. Release it outward. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, shower it down. Take that right hand behind you onto your cushion somewhere. Left hand to the right knee, seated deeply down into your hips. 5 breath, gentle twist to the right. Primarily focused on rooting down through your sitting bones, rising through your spine like it's a stem. And if your head were a flower, a blossom, you're turning toward the right. Take some nice nourishing breaths here, like feeding your energy body, your pranic body or your chi body, some good supply of energy. And in the twisting, we're just releasing what we don't need. Our body knows how to do that. So in through the nose. Occasionally out through the mouth, but primarily it's in and out through the nose with the lips staying together. Gaze is calm, or perhaps the eyes are closed. After your next exhale, keep that left hand on the right knee. Push down with your thigh bones a little more if you can. Turn your chest to face forward. Take your right arm up and over. Pause with your right hand overhead and turn your chest as much toward me as possible. Hold on with your left hand to your right knee because you're going to side bend to the left. And you don't want to tip over. Gently turn your head left and right. Nice, so you're going to float your nose in the direction of your top arm, not forcing anything with the neck whatsoever. Then pivot so your nose points in the direction of your left knee slightly. So just mild rotations of the head. Welcome, Suzanne. So glad you're here. By the way, if you ever come late, it's not a problem. And if you need to leave early, not a problem. So keep the nose pointed down toward the knee and stay and hold heavy hips. Opening through the right side body, the right ribs. Feel your right arm just gently extended. Wonderful. Slowly bring yourself back up. Feel your core working, working, working. And then cross your forearms. And then see if you've got shoulder injury, you might just hold the elbows. If that's not the case, maybe you come a little further, hold the shoulders. Could be a few in the room with open enough shoulders to do eagle. It's not me today. And then we're going to lift the elbows up as the breath comes in deeply. Breathe out deeply down. Yeah, modified. Make sure just keep those shoulders happy. And what I'd like you to start to feel is the upper half of your spine opening up a little bit when you're rounded forward, your breath expanding as your elbows are lifting, and your head just kind of flows along with this spinal movement. And every once in a while, an exhale out that helps release tension is really a great idea. One more time together. Beautiful, flexing through the spine. And next time we all have the elbows up, you're going to pause in the lifted for a moment and then unthread your arms, however you've had them. Take your palms out. Slowly comb through the air like you're kind of smoothing out your energy field. Just like you comb your hair, you're just kind of calming your energy field. Let your arms rest by your side. Let your eyes slide closed. Slowly shrug your shoulders up by your ears until they don't come up any higher. And then exhale, slide your shoulders straight directly down towards your ribs, and your ribs drop towards your hips. Do that again. Inhale, bring it way up. Whole breath comes up. Exhale, slide straight down. And then retain your shoulders down. Take a breath or two here. Feel the chest open, feel your shoulder blades active on your mid-back. Good, and then just release the effort of that. Take your left hand back behind you. Yeah, shake anything that needs to be shaken. Take your right hand over to your left knee. Root down again through your lower body, grounding. Grow tall through your spine. Rotate to the left progressively bit by bit. So ideally, the twist starts gently and subtly, and breath by breath, it gets a little bit deeper. Good. Feel, notice, imagine pretty much a straight line from your tailbone right up through the center of your skull, and you are rotating around that center channel or that central pole. See if you can widen your chest a little bit by wrapping your left shoulder blade back behind your heart. Next couple of breaths, let your abdomen really expand, like you see those statues of the Buddha with a big round relaxed belly. That's it. And then the exhale, you can tone the lower abdomen in. You can lift up on the pelvic floor if you enjoy that aspect of the practice. And take a couple breaths. Beautiful cleansing twist. And the right hand stays where it is. The chest turns forward. Left hand comes up overhead. Pause with your left fingers above. Dial your chest forward any amount that you're able, and then side bend to the right. Stay holding with that hand because it's just kind of a brace. It creates a little desirable tension so that you can open up your left ribs, and your nose can turn slightly up, slightly down. You're not forcing the twist at all. You're just mobility up through the cervical spine. And then let your head land wherever it feels best for you, either nose pointing down, forward, or up. And breathe into your left rib cage. Feel that rounded, elevated left arm as long as your shoulder lets you do that. This easy breath. Sit yourself up slowly so you're using your core muscles. And then cross your left arm over your right. And same as last time, either eagle with the deep cross, a mild cross like this, or somewhere in between. Wrapping your hands to the backside of your shoulders. Root into your seat. Float your elbows up any amount. Breathe in. And exhale. Hug your navel in. Round. Bring your elbows downward towards your pelvis. Round your head forward. And find that flow. If it feels good for you, explore the edges of the stretch, which doesn't mean you have to push yourself, beyond your limits, certainly, but sometimes there's something right there at the edge of the stretch that is interesting. Good. Next time we all have the elbows up, we'll just pause. Unwind your arms, come out into that nice V shape, spread through the fingers, float down, combing, smoothing, calming the field of energy that surrounds you. Slide your eyes closed. Feel your arms relaxed away from your body slightly. Breathe in, breathe out. Beautiful. Put your hands on your bolster, lean back a little bit, and then separate your feet and tuck your heels in toward your hips. So if you're not on the bolster, you might want to get on the bolster. And then scooch toward the front edge. And then walk your feet together. So any amount that you're able to walk your feet together, and then actively squeeze your knees together. Right? So we just had the knees apart. In yoga, we always do complementary body positioning. So there's pose and then a counter pose. Counter pose is to squeeze and energize the inner thighs after having the knees apart. And then you're going to take your right forearm and cup it around the front of your kneecaps. Sit up as tall as your body lets you. Take that left hand back behind you, and continuing to squeeze the knees together, rotate toward the left. Yeah, breathe in, breathe out. Feel that action. You're pressing into your feet. You're squeezing the thighs together. You're sitting up tall. You're looking out toward the left if your body lets you do that. Breathing in and out a few times here. Again, keep hugging your thighs toward each other. And keep that hug of the thighs toward each other as you go to the other side. Wrap your left forearm around your kneecaps. Take your right hand back behind you and rotate again here. Good. Knees together if you're able. Excellent. Let's come back forward. Nice warm up completed. And we're going to come off the bolster. So you're going to rise with the hips. Carefully, without tweaking your back or anything, set that bolster off to the side. And then join me with a wide-footed forward fold. So you're about halfway up the mat. So you're not all the way at the back of the mat, nor are you all the way at the front. You're about midway. Feet are wide, which means pinky toes are right by the edge of the mat. Bend your knees, melt your body forward. If you cannot touch the mat with your hands, that's why we have the blocks. So bring the blocks onto your mat at whatever height makes it so that your hands, your palms, ideally, can touch the block, right? Or if fingertips touch the mat, we'll go with that. And start to sway side to side. Waking up the soles of our feet in this very particular way. So many benefits to practicing yoga, and one of them includes the health of our feet, the bones, the whole structure of the foot, because there's such a great emphasis on our footing in yoga. So you can keep fingertips contacting the mat if you want, and as you rock your hips a little further side to side, you might be exploring a stretch on the inseam of each leg. You most certainly have some length going on through the spine. Good, breathe in and out. Give your head a little wag, yes, no. And then bring your hips to level. Keep your feet where they are. A bend to the knees so your ribs come a little closer to your thighs. Now cup your opposite elbows. And if you were to move your elbow points towards your toes, would you be able to let your head hang into that space between your arms, almost like your arms form a frame around your head? And then a little more movement here, a little sway side to side. Feel into any amount of length that those early stretches brought into your torso. Feel how relaxed your jaw is, how soft your face is, and how connected to your feet you are. Good. And then that rocking slows. Unclasp your elbows if you took them. Slide your palms up the tops of your feet, up your lower shins. Stop right beneath your kneecaps. Point your nose down, but as you're in this half lift position, your tailbone is directed back and the top of your head moves forward. So nice long through the spine. And then bend your knees. Everything softens as you fall forward. I'm going to go in and out of that a few times. Inhale. Come up to that half lift. Long arms, long legs, long spine. Exhale, melt it down. Maybe bring your ribs a little closer to your thighs, your hands a little closer to the ground.
And several more times. Inhaling to the half lift. Nice full extension. Exhale, breath leaves the body softens forward. And one more time. Half lift. Exhale, fold, and prepare to get your hands down onto the mat, however you want to do that, and step back either to a downward facing dog or into tabletop. And take a few moments, just follow your body's lead. We got a lot of takers on the down dog this morning. So if you choose a tabletop, you can move through cat and cow. If you're in down dog with me, let's widen out the feet and the hands to be about almost as wide as the yoga mat. And come up and down onto your toes. So when you rise to your toes, naturally your body shifts forward a little bit. And then when you sink your heels down, push your hands forward and feel how your hips just move back a little bit. So do that several times, just up on the toes, and then sinking the heels down, not expecting the heels would touch or anything like that. Just feel that flexion through your toes, your feet, your ankles, stretching into the hamstrings. Excellent. And then from this placement, let's come forward. It's going to look a little bit like a high push-up for a moment. And then we're going to bring our knees to the mat and melt ourselves down. Slide forward with your elbows. Find yourself in Sphinx pose. So the gaze drops down, kind of the nose points toward the ground. And then you just get a little shimmy with your hips, wiggle your hips a little bit, and walk those toes further back behind you. And then here, for some of us, letting the head fall forward, let the chest just sink to the ground. This might be good for you for today. Others of us will be a little more vigorous, pressing into the elbows, the palms, the forearms, and lifting the rib cage forward and the chest up a little bit. Beautiful. And the gaze might be kind of down the slope of the nose toward the top of your mat, or eyes might be closed, whatever puts you most in touch with your body. And then take a couple of breaths here. See how this feels. Allow your pelvis to settle, putting quite a curve into the low back and all the way up the spine. If you feel like you want a little bit more, you could start with a shimmy. Just shift your shoulders forward and back slightly, and you might feel how that ripples all the way down into your hips. For example, when your right shoulder's back and you're looking slightly right, you might have a lengthening through the left side waist and vice versa. Keep reaching back through your legs. So your legs are mildly active and you've got the tops of your toes pressing down. When you come back to center, if you want to put your head down and have a rest, do so. Otherwise, you can come with me, sliding the palms back a few inches and then pressing up into a little cobra, a little height of any sort, and then back down, tap your forehead. So if this is where you are with me, inhale when you come up, any height that works for you, does not have to be high. Exhale, come on back down. We're going to do that several times. I encourage you to lift up with a combination of arm strength and back muscles. So it's not exclusively your arms. You're kind of engaging those muscles from the top back of your shoulders down to your waist. Nice. And 1 or 2 times more. If you're resting, you're breathing, you're caring for yourself, and you're respecting that. Good. And we're going to meet up back either in child's pose or downward facing dog, whatever feels best for you. Good. You shift slowly the hips back. Maybe we all start in an extended child's pose for a moment, kind of touch in, see how that feels. There's length from the sides of your waist out to your hands, your forehead's dropping down. And then you could decide to rest in child's pose like this, make it a modified, or curl the toes under and rise with your hips to down dog. Take some nice deep breaths. If you're in down dog, you might want to pedal out your heels. If you're in child's pose, you could experiment with widening your knees. If you want a wide-kneed child's pose, that will stretch inside the groin. That can feel beneficial for many of us.
And it's quite desirable to have your forehead touching something in child's pose. So it could be your stacked hands is what your forehead rests on, or it could be directly on the mat. Take some nice deep but quieting breaths. Just feeling how you are kind of folded in toward yourself. And just permission to be centered and noticing, holding space generously for whatever arises in your awareness. Could be pain or pleasure. Could be challenging or joyful. Feel that equalizing breath that helps steady you so that you can hold whatever arises with a sense of being balanced. Excellent. So let's travel from child's pose into tabletop. So we're in hands and knees, and just check in. You might want to lift up one hand and circle the wrist a few times. And then plant that hand, circle the other wrist. So any of the time that we are on our palms, if it doesn't feel healthy or good for you to have all that weight in your hands, all you do is bring the blocks onto your mat, put your elbows on your blocks, and then you have no weight in your hands at all. So that's there for you. You'll have to decide if you want to do that. And then let's tuck the chin in toward the chest and just keep the head drawn in like this for a couple of moments. As we position the hands, maybe you need to step them slightly forward to make your wrists happier. Press into the whole hand, especially the tips of the fingers. And with the chin drawn in, can you push that space between your shoulder blades up toward the sky a little more? Right? Can you drop your tailbone down toward the mat and feel the back of your spine opening up with the assistance of your abdomen hugging in? And then pivot so that your ribs sink as deeply toward the ground. You stay supported with those extended arms, and you allow your sitting bones to float up, your chest to lift slightly. Just feel that gentle squeeze on the spine. And then start to flow between the two, matching your breath to the out breath. We are in the cat. In breath, we're in the cow. And just see if you can smooth it out. Make it nice and even and full, so you're going through the fullest range of motion that your body can afford at this time. If at any point your knees become unhappy, pause and put a blanket underneath your knees. Good. And then some of you might just stay in this simple cat and cow. Others of you can join me in weighting the right knee, sending the left leg back and up. And then it's still a cat and cow, but we're going to bend the left knee and round and tuck it in. Right, so same cat and cow spine, but now adding the challenge of the leg. And a little sound to your breath might be helpful, right? It adds a way to focus. Also can just add a little empowerment, because this can be a challenging move. Good. And give it one more squeeze when you come in. And the next time we all lengthen the left leg out. Instead of lifting it higher than your hip, lower your left leg to be about even with your left hip. Shift weight to your left hand and either just be light on the right fingertips or stretch your right arm all the way forward for a full spinal balance. Yeah, so you've got the left wrist under your left shoulder. Reach out. Breathe, 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 extend, extend. And then right hand comes down, hold that left leg up longer if you can, flex the ankle, and then cross your left leg over. Left leg stays straight, but cross it over. Put the ball of your left foot on the wood floor outside the right edge of your mat, and bring your body into a C curve by shortening your right side waist. Lengthen the left side of your body from your left heel to your left shoulder. Just pause and breathe. Support your low back by gently hugging your lower abdomen
up and in. Excellent. Release. Bring that left knee back, and let's all drop to the elbows. You can interlace your fingers, and then just let your head fall forward. Take this as a resting moment. Or if there's anybody with a lot of energy this morning, you can stay on the elbows, but just slide your legs back and come into a plank, like an elbow plank. Take a couple of breaths. If you're doing the elbow plank, the legs are straight, thighs are together, inner feet touch. You press down into your forearms and back through your heels. Breathing in, breathing out. Nice. Then we're all going to melt down to the ground. Stretch back through your legs, part your elbows, stack your hands, put your right cheek down on your hands. Let your body just melt in a relaxed way right down to the floor. Rock your hips left and right. Stay nice and easy. When the hips become still, bend the knees. Feel your feet just floating right up in the air. And then windshield wiper your feet side to side. Just swish them side to side. Using this swishing of the feet in order to continue to rock the hips so they're nice and loose. And just feel the way you're delightfully rolling across your thigh muscles. And pause with your feet up in the air. Lift your head up. Turn the other way. Put your left cheek or your left forehead down on your hands. And then slowly, mindfully melt your feet to the floor. Feel that moment when the legs land and the whole body softens down. Take 5 smooth, easy, nourishing breaths. Continuing to regulate the central nervous system using breath and mindful movement, relaxed, focused attention. Take an intentional exhale. Position your palms to frame your chest on the mat. Peel your body up and hips go back. Yogi's choice, either back to table, little cat and cow, maybe child's pose. You could also choose a squat or a downward facing dog. So just listen to your body, see what feels good. You'll have about 10 breaths to explore whatever you've chosen. Listen to that teacher within, that kind voice that helps you respond to what your body needs. Take a couple more breaths, doing whatever you're doing. Or maybe you're resting, so you're more of a non-doing. And when you're ready, we'll meet up in tabletop. And we're going to put the weight into the left knee. We're going to reach back through the right leg, stretch all the way out to your right toes. Lift your right leg up, bring your gaze slightly forward. And then bend that right knee, round and tuck and curl it in. Exhaling. Inhaling to lengthen and lift. Exhale, draw it in, squeeze it in. So connecting with the coordination of that movement, but also the way that the breath supports the movement. And feeling that cat and cow flow through your spine. That cat and cow movement. Make sure that you're pushing into the tips of your fingers
Sometimes it might feel almost like the ball of your hand, or the center palm lifts up away from the ground a little bit, similar to the way your arch lifts on your foot. So we're looking for that. We want that. One more squeeze in. And then when the right leg comes back, stays, but drop your right leg to the height of your right hip, flex your ankle so you push back through the heel, weight into your right hand. Maybe you're just on the tips of the left fingers, or maybe you want to challenge your balance enough to point your nose down and reach forward through the front hand and back through the back foot. Extending, reaching. Strong core moment here. Left hand comes back to the mat. Right leg stays long and energized as it crosses over. Ball of the right foot on the wood floor out to the left of your mat. And then shorten your left sideways, lengthen from the right heel to the right shoulder. And breathe into any kind of lateral side body stretch that you can right here. In breath, out breath. Beautiful. Let's come back to center. Both knees are down. Walk your knees over to the right side of your mat so you can sit down on your hips. Swing your feet forward and get ready to come out into a straddle. You've got 2 blocks, so I don't know about you, but it takes me a moment to get into a straddle. You got to kind of inch the heels out, kind of wiggle, wiggle, wiggle out. And just depending on how your knees are feeling today, maybe you're happy to have your legs kind of flat down toward the mat, or if your knees feel tender, I highly recommend bending the knees and putting a block behind each knee. So just depends on what you're experiencing today. And then rock from one sitting bone to the other. Draw the padding of the buttocks, the upholstery, back a little bit. Sit up nice and tall. Again, edge those heels out so the stretch on the inseam of your legs feels good and strong. And then if the way your body is composed, it's very difficult to lean forward. You can thank your parents. That's your genetics probably, as well as your gender. But you can just lean back, and as long as you're feeling a stretch, you can support yourself right here. Others of us will sit up tall on the sitting bones, tip and hinge forward, bring the hands in front, broad palms supporting, and then you're just going to start the progressive lean forward. So this is very much the gradual approach where you can just witness and notice that you might breathe yourself forward to the point where some reflex of clenching happens in the legs and the hips. But if you just stay and breathe, relax, sometimes something loosens up and you can come forward a little bit more. Nice. Oh my, so sorry about that. Yikes. And then we'll just stay for a few more breaths here, simply focused on folding forward, releasing tension, inseam of the legs, finding that nice extension. And then you're going to come halfway up out of the straddle fold and walk your hands over to the right leg. So you're going to put one hand on either side of the right leg and then lift yourself up a tad more, maybe even on the fingertips. Turn your navel towards your right thigh, turn your chest towards your right kneecap, and then refold over that right leg. Your nose is kind of just dropping down toward your right knee. And when you feel your left hip start to float off the ground, settle it back down. And if you want to keep your right hand planted and supportive outside your right thigh, you could maybe take your left hand onto your right shin and slide it down toward your right foot, any amount. And then just soften forward. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhaling, exhaling. Beautiful straddle with a side bend. And then lastly, if you're
tracking with me, right palm is outside the right leg. You're going to bear weight on your right palm. And when you turn your chest forward and lift yourself slightly out of the fold, maybe you can float your left arm above the side of your left ear, that area, and take a beautiful side stretch here. Breathe in, breathe out. Float your left hand down out in front of you. Return back to that centered forward fold straddle for a moment or two. Let your head fall forward. Be really nice and easy about it. And then walk your hands over to the left leg, one hand on either side of the left leg. Lift part way up enough so you can kind of turn your navel toward your left thigh, turn your chest towards your left thigh. Let your nose drop in the direction of your left kneecap. Relax your right hip down, down, down. Turning, gently folding, breathing. Adding that bearing weight with the left hand. If you want to take your right hand, cross it over, try to connect with your left shin, your left ankle, or your left foot. Give that a try. Nice extended exhales, generous inhales. Bear weight in your left hand. Now as you lift part way up, turn your chest to face forward. Straddle with a side bend. Your right arm is just floating above your head. So you're on the left palm. Your right arm is extended over the right side of your head. Breathe in, breathe out. Good. And then bring that right hand forward. Both hands are out in front of you. Last moment to melt in this forward fold. And then walk your hands in. Sit yourself up nice and tall. And just pause. Hands are anywhere that feels like grounding and centering for you. If you care to, close your eyes, do that. You can roll your shoulders a couple of times, up and around in one direction, and then around in the other direction. Let your shoulders rest down and just gently turn your head left and right a few times. Just coming to that comfortable stop, not pushing the edge. Come to center, float your chin slightly up, slightly down. Just kind of like you're flossing your spine. Excellent. Head comes neutral. Lean back enough to bring the soles of your feet together. So your knees are out just for a little bit longer. Rock onto your sitting bones. Guide your hands up to your kneecaps. Good. Rock, rock, rock. And just prepare for a gentle fold forward. Slide your hands from your knees down the front of your shins in the direction of your feet. Just go as far as your body lets you. And it's a very gentle melting forward. It's not a pulling and a tugging. And you might adjust the placement of your heels by drawing them in closer to your pelvis or moving them further out, whatever feels best for you. And you kind of stay and be still if that's what suits you, or you can rock your torso left and right, or you could even rock from one sitting bone to the other, just kind of rocking the whole pose left and right. Feel your low back relaxing open. And when you come back to center, you're going to slowly roll your spine up, like very slowly. Feel all those core muscles hugging in to help sit you up nice and tall. Gather your knees in towards your chest. And this time when you crisscross your forearms over your knees, squeeze your knees together a little bit, kind of offset that time that the knees were apart, and just let your nose fall toward your knees or your eyebrows towards your knees and relax. Just gentle effort to move the knees toward each other. A chance to feel a broadening across your mid-back, that space between your shoulder blades opening up a little bit. Head's relaxed, face is soft, jaw is soft. And slowly guide your body into an upright position. Please take your strap, have it right close by. Same thing goes for your blocks, so bring them in towards your hips. And we're going to drop down onto our backs.
So position yourself comfortably. Come on back, all the way back, flat down. And take a moment to check in with your body. Like, see what would feel really good right now. Do you want to hug your knees in towards your chest, or do you want to straighten your body in a long, full body stretch? What would be best for you? Yeah, and if you don't have a strap, if you forgot to get one, raise your hand. I'll bring it to you. Okay. All right. So, a couple moments here just to calibrate. Just feel that change from being upright and all that kind of strengthening that happens when we pull our bodies away from the ground and we resist gravity. And then it's a different experience when we're down on the ground and kind of surrendering, using gravity as an ally here for the settling and the grounding feeling. And then together, we will draw the right knee in toward the chest, interlace your fingers in the front of your right knee, and just give a little pulse or a little squeeze, a little hold, right knee toward right chest. Feel the back of your head dropping down, your shoulders as well. You could have a thin layer of padding under your head if you needed to, but it rarely does a big elevation of the head helpful. And then if you want to slide your left leg long, slide your left heel along the mat until your leg comes into full extension. Press down with your left thigh bone as you pull the right knee in. And just feel that distance increase from left thigh to right knee. Beautiful little squeeze in here for the liver. And then we're going to switch to the other side. So we're going to do that by slowly lifting the left leg up using our core. Lifting slowly, left leg comes up. And then you bend your left knee, switch your hands over onto the left knee. Put your right foot back on the mat for a moment until you really imprint that hugging of the left knee to the left chest, that continually dropping your shoulder blades and back ribs down on the mat. And then just decide if you want to straighten your right leg or not. If you do, slide the heel along. Press your right thigh steadily down as you hug your left knee in. Single knee hug. A little squeeze for your stomach, your spleen. Good. And then slowly lift your right leg up. Use your core to do it. And then both knees are now bent. Left hand on left knee, right hand on right knee. And then start to make circles with your knees. You can push your knees apart, forward, and then together. That can kind of be the pattern. And I want this to feel like a loosening up into your low back. Bring some good, healthy circulation into your hip sockets. And just continuing to feel your connection with the ground through the back of your head, back of your shoulders, back ribs, low back. And go the opposite direction with your circles. Excellent. Next time your knees come toward each other, reach for your strap. Unwind your strap, to its full length. And then lift your feet up overhead and put the strap over both feet at the same time. Place your feet about shoulder distance apart. And if you'd like to take a loop with the strap around your hands, sometimes that feels like a sturdier grip. And then bend your knees as much as you personally need to and extend out through your heels. Pull your toes back toward your face. Again, reset your shoulder blades right down toward the mat and just feel this amazing stretch through your hamstrings. And then on your own, decide if you want to keep your feet shoulder distance apart or you want to slide your feet toward each other or further out toward a straddle. Find what feels reasonable for you. And that straps across the ball of the foot, not the arch really. Then start to rock this whole configuration left and right. Good, and you might feel that left side of your hip lift up. And then when you shift the other way, when your feet go to the right, the left side of your hip lifts a little bit. And so as you go side to side, there's a little something, a big something happening in your hamstrings, but a little something happening through the sides of your waist. Good. And then experiment, if you want to, widening your feet a little wider, maybe as wide as you're able to given the length of the strap, and rock a little bit more side to side. Play around with spreading through the toes so your feet are active and engaged. You're just helping with that foot health even though you're not standing, and still do something there. Slide your feet now back together. Keep your right foot in the strap, but as you free your left foot out of the strap, you're going to need to wind your hands up a little bit higher. And you're going to bring your left knee towards your left chest for a moment. So you're just extending through the right leg. And then take your left heel and slowly push it forward. And now both legs are lengthened, pushing out through both heels. You're holding your lower abdomen down toward the ground a little bit, and your elbows are out toward the sides. Pause and breathe. Feel the core work here. If you like core work or you tolerate it, you can lift and lower that left leg slowly any amount. Feel how you're activating the lower left side of your abdomen while you're maintaining this amazing hamstring stretch through your right leg. Again, I like to take my elbows kind of wide so I keep my chest open. It feels almost like I've got my arms wrapped around a big wide tree. And anybody who wants to hover, left heel off the mat, bring your chin towards your chest, curl your head and shoulders up slightly for a moment or two. Little extra core work right there. And then shoulders and head come back down. Slowly, left foot lifts, lifts, lifts all the way up. And then slide your left foot into the strap and free your right foot. Pause with your right knee bent, just nice and easy. Kind of extend out through your left heel. Remember, you can always bend that leg. Decide if you're going to stay here, which is a little gentler, or press out through your right heel and pause with your right leg extended. Right? You really know where both heels are. If you'd like to lift and lower your right leg a few times, so go very slowly because that's how you're going to get the most out of the movement in terms of strength. I like to use the exhale with the effort of lifting the leg up, and then that inhale in the lowering down. And if you're up for it, when you lower your right leg down, you can hover your right heel just off the mat, pause, curl your chin towards your chest, lift your head and shoulders slightly up, extend out through your heels, hug down with your lower abdomen, breathe. Shoulders and head drop back down, slowly, slowly, right leg lifts. So mindful. Right foot goes back in the strap, and then yogi's choice for the next 10 breaths. Any way that you want to play around with the strap over both feet, maybe rocking side to side, or maybe you'd like to kind of rock actually forward and back, where you rock your toes toward the back of the mat, which lifts your tailbone off, and then settle your tailbone back down. So this little pulsing of your toes toward the back of the room. Give that a try. Nice, deep, easy breathing. And then just find a position to hold for a couple of breaths. Just settle. Witness all the sensation that you're creating. Give a little smile to the way that your body is really cooperative this morning, doing so many things you're asking of it. And then when you are ready, bend your knees, take the strap off. We're completely done with that. Bend your knees down, rest them on the mat Rest your elbows on the mat outside your rib cage. Tilt your palms in towards your torso with this very gentle, healing touch. And take a few mindful breaths. Good. Relax. Relax your head, the shoulders. You kind of really did a lot with the arms just now. Take it easy. Good. So let's get ready to practice bridge pose, little shoulder stand, spinal twist, and shavasana. So set your feet up for bridge. It's not a bad idea to take one of your blocks and put it between your thighs and just kind of hold it there with a light pressure. Sometimes that helps even out the emphasis on inner and outer thigh in this bridge pose, so that's there for you if you want it. Your arms are long by your side, and you just make those adjustments with your feet so you feel solid in the whole foot on the ground. Good. And then press the back of your waistband down into the mat. It'll lengthen your spine. It'll also tilt your pelvis up a little bit. Then activate hips, glutes, quads, hamstrings as you lift your hips upward. And keep lifting them up. Adjust your footing any way that you'd like so you feel very solid in the whole foot. And then just kind of explore this bridge pose with the pelvis elevating, your ribs lifting up, your chest opening. Your arms can stay down on the mat, palms up or down, or some people like to walk the backs of their arms underneath the shoulder blades just to get the chest a little higher. You can take a bind, but only if your shoulders really like that. Good. Take a handful of breaths here. You're rooting right down into those feet. Your legs are strong. Front of the pelvis is open. Your chest is open. Back of your head has a little pressure downward into the ground. Feel how the strengthening quality of the back of your body helps the front of the body open up. Good. And then keeping the hips elevated, but lowering them down just part way. See if you can reach for that block. Take it out. And then slide both blocks under your hips on their lowest setting. You're going to form what looks like a semi-square, low, flat, square shape. And then rest your hips right down on that little platform. Feel that moment when all the weight of your hips drops onto the blocks, your legs get to relax. Widen out through your upper spine if you did a little of that walking of the arms in. So this is supported bridge. And anyone who wants to bring in one knee at a time over the chest, pause, either kind of stay here, kind of like call it a half shoulder stand, or float your feet all the way up with very relaxed legs into supported shoulder stand. And relax and breathe. Let your back of your ribs and your back of your shoulders drop to the mat. Feel your feet floating upward. You can kind of twinkle through the toes if you want to. You might find it kind of almost meditative to point and flex each foot very slowly. You encircle and roll through your ankles. And if you'd like, come on out to a straddle. Slow and steady. Let just the weight of the legs here create the straddle. You could assist a stretch further if you took your palms on the inseam of your legs and kind of coax them open a little bit more, possibly with a little pointing and flexing of the feet heel here just to enhance that straddle. Good. And then gather your hands on the outside of your thighs. Slowly, with your core strength, bring your feet back together. The slower, the better. Feel that moment when your legs come back together. Bend at the knees. Put your feet on down on the mat. Hips go up. The blocks come out. You're all done with those. And bring your arms out into relaxed T shape. Walk your feet as wide as your yoga mat. So your pinky toes are just kind of right out there toward the edge of your mat. And then slowly windshield wiper your knees left and right. So if you go nice and slow, there's a little bit of attention to the core. You can feel how one hip just kind of pops up as that knee drops down. Some beautiful flexion through your lower spine, a nice little twist, at least for the bottom half of your spine. And then some of you might keep your feet down on the mat, just stay nice and low like this. Others of you will lift your feet up, bringing your kneecaps up over your chest, and do the same thing. Drop your knees left and right a few times. Little abdominal rotations. Then we'll all prepare to let the knees drop over to the right. So regardless of whether your feet are on the mat or your feet are up in the air, knees and legs drop right, and then come to rest here. So if you do have your feet and your knees drawn way in, now your legs are stacking, your feet are stacking, your knees are stacking, your left shoulder is sinking down to help open the chest. You might take your right hand to help ease that top knee downward. And relax. Just have the intention for all the muscles of the body to be really soft. Good. Kind of mark that moment where the twist feels complete and satisfying for you. And then you switch to the other side. Just slow and steady. Either feet are down on the mat or your legs are stacked. Left hand helping drop the knees down. Right shoulder melting. Right. Whole torso relaxing. Maybe your head turns slightly to the right. Notice that moment when you feel balanced and satisfied. Bring yourself out of your twist and just pause. You might want to hug the knees in for a moment or two, but we're all going to make our way towards Shavasana. Perhaps putting your socks back on if that makes you cozy. You might want to use the bolster underneath your hips. Not underneath your hips, under your knees, I mean. But taking your time, kind of making the setup for the pose as much of a meditation as possible. Blanket over the top if you brought one, and if you didn't bring one, it's a nice thing to bring with you next time. So bolster behind the knees tends to put the low back at ease. So if you are desiring that, take your time to set that up. And then a guided relaxation for about 7 or 8 minutes. If ever for any reason, whether you're congested or some other reason that you would prefer to practice this last pose as a seated meditation, you're welcome to do that. But most commonly enjoyed reclining. And just witness that moment when you feel comfortable, evenly balanced, well supported, adequately warm. Even just like a nice sighing exhale might just really drop you in. And just bit by bit, there's this natural letting go, especially if you've been practicing yoga for a while. It's Pavlovian. Your body just knows the way to healing, to relaxation, to all those conditions for maximum ease and integration. So notice your body feeling a sense of being balanced and even in the way that you are resting down on the ground. Your body weight, like evenly distributed. And this general sense of the pull of gravity helping you settle. This general sense of being supported and kind of met by the firmness of the floor. And just feel as the eyelids cover the eyes, there's something easy that starts to happen through all your facial muscles. You can feel your jaw soften. The sense of relaxation flowing down through your neck, through your chest, and kind of just swirling through your shoulders, melting down through your arms. A sense of relaxation and gentle awareness extending even all the way out to your hands and your fingertips. Kind of resting back into that position, that perspective of the witness, where you're just witnessing and watching your physical body respond to the practice, the mind responding to the invitation to be just gently present to the sensations of the body relaxing. Noticing how your shoulders might settle down a little bit more, that feeling of the back of your rib cage melting down toward the ground. Broadening and settling of your low back and your hips. So much support. Feeling your legs relaxed, your thigh muscles resting on your thigh bones. This gentle curve over the knees and relaxation flowing down through your lower legs and all the way out into your feet. And just allowing yourself to melt and to float. Your mind is just open and clear like the sky. Thoughts that travel through don't have to be afforded that much attention. You're really just relaxing into the space of the sky and the healing quality of the earth. Just resting easy right down into your center. allow your breath to deepen. And just notice this quality of generosity that can emerge when we're taking these slow, deep, nourishing breaths. And the true generosity is a state of mind and action that is not just us giving to others, it's us giving to ourselves and to others. So just want you to just take a few breaths with that word generosity and just notice that this practice can be one where you're generous towards yourself, and then it's just so much easier to be generous to others when that happens. Take a few generous inhales and exhales so they feel satisfying and complete. Notice the state of softness that you have tended and cultivated and experiencing in this moment. How important, how the world needs tender, soft hearts. And then you can just gently start to move through your fingers and toes. No rush to do so, just only in your own right timing. And just feel each part of the body kind of come back to awareness as you move it gently. So coming out of Shavasana could include fingers and toes, wrists and ankles, and at some point a really long extended stretch through the arms and legs. You just got this sense of maybe your body feels freer, broader, more open, stronger, more radiant maybe. And whenever you're ready, knees can come in toward the chest, get that nice little release of the low back toward the ground. And then finding yourself comfortably seated in a meditative seat. And you might rock from one hip to the other, find yourself balanced and centered. Same thing goes, maybe you just need to kind of roll through the shoulders or a little bit, sink your hips, elongate your spine gently, relax your chest open. Good. And then you can gather both hands back in over the heart for just a pause of reflection. Here's a quote that I hope you will like. It's by Rachel Carson. "Those who contemplate the beauty of the earth find reserves of strength that will endure as long as life lasts. There is something infinitely healing in the repeated refrains of nature. The assurance that dawn comes after night and spring comes after winter. Those who contemplate the beauty of the earth find reserves of strength." So let's just give a little bow to our bodies as extensions of nature, right, imbued with that light of divinity. Gratitude for this unfolding of spring, however it shows up. And this chance to have been together in this particular kind of way. And just take a moment, a pause to consider how you might carry the state that you're in right now into the rest of the day. How you might interact with other beings in a more gentle and mindful and present way. And then let's take the hands out just nice and wide. Feel when your reach gets to its fullest. Inhale, bring your palms up overhead. And nice exhale, sliding down, drawing down from above, right, to land in the heart. So thumbs to the heart center and a little bow forward. And I send each one of you wishes for peace, health, and happiness now and always. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much for starting your Saturday here with us. Namaste. Namaste. And please offer a little greeting to others that are around you. Namaste, Nancy. Glad you participated.